and then they saw me in a bra, and that was it.
It's Michael Keane from Nashville, and this is Single Podcast Theory.
What's going on, Pearl Jam nerds? You are listening to Single Podcast Theory. I'm Brad Lyons.
And I'm Brad Blazek.
Welcome to episode 27. We're going to be taking a trip back in time to July, I believe it's July 11th, 1995.
Yes. Yeah.
Soldier Field show. And real quick, thank you to Michael Keane, who opened the show for us. Thanks, Michael. You guys keep sending in your Pearl Jam intros, and we'll use them. We got quite a few more to use in the next few episodes, so keep it up. What's going on, Brad?
Nothing. I'm excited.
You're excited?
Yeah.
How excited?
Oh, fucking pumped, bro.
Bro.
Yeah.
So pumped.
Yeah, man.
Well, we've got emails, man. We've got emails.
We do have emails.
We're gonna read a few emails, including, you know what it is.
Yeah,
you know what it is. It's time. Everyone sit back with your favorite blankie, cup of hot cocoa, on the couch with the fireplace.
True story.
Because it's Pearl Jam story time.
Good evening. This is Storytellers. We are here to tell stories.
We just have friends up here that are listening to stories.
Have I got a little story for you?
This is the true story. True story.
All right, so this week it's all you, Blazy. Who
It
we got?
is. Paul Wirt wrote in with his Pearl Jam story.
Yes, sir.
He says, "Hola, dos brados." My name.
I don't think that's correct Spanish, but we'll let
is
it go.
Not? I understood it.
Okay.
My name is Paul, and this is my Pearl Jam story. I first heard Pearl Jam back in the early 90s when 10 was out, and I want to say that Even Flow is the first video of theirs I saw on MTV. As a 10-year-old kid, I may not have recognized the depth of the lyrical content, but I was instantly drawn to the sound of music and Eddie's voice. So when an opportunity arose and I was able to, quote unquote, permanently borrow a copy of 10 from my older sister, I grabbed the CD and never looked back. My next memories of the band are the Jeremy music video and their MTV VMA Award performance of Rockin' in the Free World with Neil Young. After a few years and several albums, Pearl Jam released Yield in 1998, and I realized something after hearing Given to Fly on the radio. Pearl Jam was my favorite band. I was older and able to really grasp the lyrics and just connected with what Ed was saying. Could have tuned in, but he tuned out. A bad time, nothing could save him. That really spoke to me at the time because my parents' marriage was in turmoil and I was transitioning from middle school to high school and really trying to find out where I fit in the world. So to have someone articulate that sort of feeling of helplessness, but to also show that there is meaning in the struggle itself and that there is hope. Man, I get that. That's that's I think a lot of us felt that, and we needed these guys at that moment, you know?
Yeah.
He goes on to say, it really just struck a chord for me and got me listening to the band as much as I could. In June of 2000, my first band, the aptly named Natty Light, shout out to Natty Light. That's great. That's a great band name. We played the senior banquet at school, and I'm proud to say that I nailed the solo to Yellow Ledbetter. Fast forward a few months, and I attended my first Pearl Jam show at Virginia Beach. This show is historic because it was the band's first performance following the Roskilde incident and Eddie wrote the lyrics to I Am Mine while at Virginia Beach. The show was very emotional for the band and fans alike. Long Road, Light Years, and the It's Okay tag on Daughter were fitting tributes to the 9 friends the band will never know, to quote Love Boat Captain. Since that show, I've been fortunate enough to see the band at the following shows. DC in 2003, 2004, 2006, Pittsburgh 06, Bonnaroo 2008, where my cousin Mike Keene, the guy you know, that's
Michael.
Yeah, we met him in Nashville last month. He says that they can be seen on the Pearl Jam 20 DVD singing the line, "Things Were Different Then," during Hard to Imagine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What's one of my favorite songs? Virginia Beach in 08, DC in 08. He went to the Philly Spectrum show on Halloween, which we've talked about those shows, but those are crazy shows. But that one, Eddie almost didn't play Bugs, and the band was on fire. And he says time sort of stopped for a few hours, and everything was all right in the world. DC 2010, and then he was at both nights of Pearl Jam 20, which he says those were special to him because that was his mom's first Pearl Jam shows, which is,
that's awesome.
That's awesome. Phoenix 2013, LA Night 1 2013, where we were just talking about this. This was the show where Ed got really pissed at a girl and was, yelling at her and threw her out.
Good evening. Keelan, we need some lights. Hi. I don't know you, I've never met. You're gonna watch the rest of the show. We need to get you out. Just get out. Please, now. Marcel, get around. We're not fucking around. Who else? Anybody else? Yeah, just go watch it somewhere else. If you had a chance to make friends with these people, you fucked that up. Go make some friends over there. It'll be fun.
Memphis 2014, where I held up Eddie during Porch. And I was at that show too, by the way. Jacksonville 2016, where Eddie picked up a sign I made and said it looked good, and where I got a tambourine and a few picks. Greenville 2016, where Eddie gave me his Corona bottle after he took a swig at the end of the show. Hampton 2016, where my buddy Anthony got to sing on Ed's mic during Breathe or Breath.
Breath, yeah.
Is it Breath? I always say it wrong.
Breathe has an E at the end.
Oh, well.
Hooked on Phonics worked for me.
Columbia 2016, and he was also at both Fenway shows last year. Well, I guess 2 years ago now. He says he met Mike and got some pics outside of Fenway and also met Eddie again. Dude, we need to see some shows with this guy.
I know, because right? He's got some luck.
Yes, man. We need to be standing right next to...
either that or he's really successful at invading the Pearl Jam members' personal space.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fine. He also saw Eddie solo in Santa Barbara, where Mike and I landed better seats than Charlize Theron, and also in Baltimore, where, again, I was lucky enough to meet and briefly speak with Eddie, and he went to the Pilgrimage Festival last year.
Nice.
Yeah. So in 2006, my friends and I formed a short-lived band named Champagne Breakfast, based in Lynchburg, Virginia. That's another great band name. We were so short-lived that we played approximately 1.5 shows and nearly got into a fistfight with a venue that did us wrong by telling us last minute we couldn't play and we had to switch venues. We eventually played later that evening and rocked the house. Do you have any stories about getting done wrong by a venue? And
actually, yeah, just one here in Birmingham.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it wasn't like a big show or anything, but I was just sitting in on guitar with a buddy of mine, and he had it booked for like a month and a half, and the day of the show, I think he emailed or called to say, hey, what time were we supposed to load in or something like that, and they were like, oh yeah, we double booked tonight, sorry, you guys can't play. So he rushed around. Luckily, this buddy of mine, Hunter, you know Hunter, you met Hunter at the Metal Up Your Podcast party.
Yeah.
He there's a place called the Redmont Hotel, and there's a bar on the roof of the hotel, and so he called them, and they let him just show up and play there. So we played on the rooftop, which ended up being a better gig anyway. But
yeah,
it sucks, man.
Yeah,
the old double book.
But it's a long way to the top.
I know, right?
If you want to rock and roll.
Amen.
Yeah. Bon Scott, words of wisdom. All right, he goes on to say, as my Pearl Jam fandom grew over the years, so did my love for their fan base and my admiration for the way the band operates on their own terms. I've made close friends with many fans outside of venues, sharing our Pearl Jam stories, talking about our dream set lists, our favorite and least favorite songs or albums, and wondering what the band will throw at us on a particular tour stop. The best way I can describe what the band means to me is that they are the living incarnation or reflection of the modern human experience. Their art represents a wide range of emotions, and they've struggled and grown together and have survived because they've made a point to cherish the relationships they've built over the years. Whether it be their fan base, their crew, or other musicians, Pearl Jam have taken care of the ones who take care of them. And at the end of the day, isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that their greatest message to us? That we are all on this journey of life together and that we need to take care of one another in order to survive. But that also togetherness and a group of people will always be more powerful than a singular voice. I can't wait to make more memories with fellow 10 Club members and Pearl Jam fans in the near future, and I'm really looking forward to a new album. I'd like to give a shout out to Mike for telling me about the podcast, to my sister Katie for her copy of 10, and to you guys for putting out a quality Pearl Jam related podcast, and to the band for continuing to make meaningful rock music for all these years. Peace and keep on rocking in the free world.
Boom.
Paul Wirt.
Yeah,
man.
Paul.
I love it.
Thank
dude.
you.
He mentioned the Rockin' in the Free World at the VMAs with Neil Young. If you go back and listen to that, it sounds like it's slowed down like 50%. They play it like the right way,
right?
Because Neil Young's with them, but it is so slow compared to how they play it now.
I love it.
Yeah,
just fucking grooves.
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Well, that's our Pearl Jam story for the week. Thanks again, Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. And Michael.
Moving on. Yeah, and Michael. We've got Jeffrey. Let's see here. He says, Brads, I just wanted to drop a note of thanks and congrats about the last 2 episodes. I think they have been the best of the bunch. The B&B Wrigley 2 episode was really great. I think the first-hand account episodes are awesome, and I am hoping that it becomes a feature of this 2018 tour cycle, or 2018 tour cycle. The first-hand account added to the knowledge of the live shows really made for great listening. Also, the editing in of the songs was awesome, and the addiction or all the way after the... Wait a minute, did I read
Addition.
that? Oh, addition. Of all the way after the credits was pitch perfect. I also very much enjoyed the way the second Mike episode, especially the peek backstage with Brad L. I feel like you won't tell us more, but I would love to hear more about your touring days as it adds so much context. In the end, I feel like these 2 shows really played to your individual strengths, and in the light of all the PJ baseball announcements, you both hit home runs. I'm looking forward to the 2018 tour. Me too.
Yeah.
Hoping to try for Fenway myself. I really hope you are able to add some aspect of the tour to the podcast. All the very best, Jeff, from wintry Halifax, Nova Scotia. Thanks, Jeff. And yeah, we're trying to, now that they've, you know what? Maybe that's a good segue to go ahead and talk about the tour real quick.
Okay.
If that's cool with you.
Sure.
Because we're definitely trying to find ways, well, just as fans to get to the shows, but more importantly now to get to some of the shows to add it to the podcast. Doing some live recording, and I don't know where that's going to take us. We're still trying to figure out, because none of these shows are close to us.
Right. Yeah.
You know. But if we can figure it out financially, which is obviously is going to be it's always the hard part of these shows.
Yeah.
But we're going to figure something out. I promise you. So be on the lookout.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, you know, on our last episode, the shows had leaked, but they hadn't been officially announced.
Right.
But we can say now, you know, on Monday, they announced the 2 home shows, as they're calling them, in Seattle at Safeco Field, which is where the Mariners play baseball.
Right. Yeah.
And then Wednesday, they dropped the rest, which is, so Seattle is August 8th and 10th. Then they're playing in Jeff's home state, Missoula, Montana, at the Washington Grizzly Stadium, which I think that's a college football stadium.
Makes sense.
I guess I should know that, but I don't. That's August 13th. And then they are playing Wrigley Field again, August 18th and 20th. And then they're playing Fenway Park again, September 2nd and 4th. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nothing's like set in stone, but I can't imagine that we won't be at Wrigley.
Sure.
So
yeah, I mean that one makes the most sense,
right,
for sure. But at the same time, you see, like Chicago's such a special city for you for obvious reasons, but Seattle's a special city for me for personal reasons. And man, I would fucking love to go see them in their hometown and in Jeff's hometown.
Yeah, that Jeff show, the Montana show really seems like that's going to be a special one. You know, they're not playing 2 nights there. Of these 4 cities they're playing, they're not playing there twice. They're just playing the one night, and it's Jeff's hometown, home state. So, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. Like, it seems like the out in the middle of nowhere shows are a little extra. They put a little extra sauce on those set lists.
Yeah, man.
So I would love that. But man, the travel. Whew.
I know. Hotel rooms, travel.
Yeah. So, and I just, Chicago makes the most sense because obviously it's more familiar to me. I'd love to get a place right there by the park, you know?
Sure.
But it gets expensive. So I don't know what we're going to do.
Well, I can't wait to hear from listeners about, you know, what shows they're going to and hearing about it afterwards. It's going to be an exciting time for SPT, I feel like.
It's interesting. You would think Seattle they would have done last, you know?
Right.
But I don't know.
Yeah, man. All right.
Let me get back to his email real quick. Mm-hmm. Because I just wanted to say, where is it here? The Wrigley, doing the Wrigley show for me was just awesome. I love reliving that, you know, for you and for the people that listen to the show.
Yeah.
But dude, I mean, the production value that you put into it was just awesome. I mean,
thanks, man.
It's fun for me to do the show, but then, you know, I had to listen to it to kind of do some edits for you.
Yeah.
And I think I listened to it like at least twice. Mm-hmm. And then when you sent it back to me with all the sounds, the clips, the drops all put in there, I was like, this is fucking incredible. So
thanks, man.
Just to give you a little Wrigley production bug explosion.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, that was today. That was definitely the episode that took the longest to edit. I think
that's the other thing. I mean, people don't know that was a lot of hours.
Which I don't say that complaining at all. I'm just saying,
right? Yeah.
But I think it was worth it. You know.
Oh yeah, totally. That's what I was trying to say. It was a pain in the ass for you, but it was totally worth it. So, thank you.
Well, thanks for the love, bud.
Yeah, man.
All right, cool.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeffrey,
for writing in.
Yeah, man. So you got Sean?
I've got Sean. He says, been catching up on the show. Keeps getting better. Love this outlet where we can truly nerd out and not have people think we're weird. The home shows were announced the other day, and then yesterday the other shows. I'm super excited. Hoping I can get tickets to some of them, but I'm shooting for both Seattle. Hopefully you guys could make it out to Seattle. Like we said, we don't know what's going on yet, but be great to meet up and talk face to face about the band and life. I'm really liking the life perspective stuff you are putting into the show. Just talking real shit about life and that sometimes life isn't roses. It's weird. I think that this band represents kind of the everyman. Not losers and not those that are wildly successful, but those in the middle who grind, work lots of hours, whose little ray of light is Pearl Jam coming to town. People with families and those who sometimes have a shitty run of luck or who have to work real hard for what they have. For me, they have been the soundtrack to my life since 1991, and I was 16. But now at 43, with a wife and kids, life isn't always glamorous. When I'm feeling down and out and on an island, I can put on Verses or No Code and put on Go or Hail Hail and just vent. There goes.
There we go.
Yep, the dogs are venting. They just, they get it. Go on. Come on, Darnell.
They got a vent too, man.
Let them know.
It's been a few episodes since we've had a dog.
Yeah, I know. They were like, we wanna be on the show.
Oh, they're on. Okay.
Do we just power through this?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
Well, I mean, are they okay?
Hey! Mama! Oh, hey. One of Amanda's friends is here, so they're freaking out. It's all right. So, it's hard to put that on paper. Hopefully, you're bagging what I'm mowing. I love that. I love that line. I don't think I've ever heard that before. That's a good one.
I've never heard that.
I was moved to damp eyes from Bagel's words after the Cornell episode about his young son. Damn. Shout out to Bagel for sharing that. I'm a little behind, but that story moved me. I also love the emails from Janan and Kate. Love the thought they put in. When the pod started, I thought the emails might be something I would skip over every time, but I have found that is the part of the show I may look the most forward to. I like the community aspect and feel that it gives. Anyway, time to grind. Just wanted to say hey and thank you for giving up both your time to do this. It's been great. And although sometimes the episodes get a little lengthy, I never feel like I've wasted my time listening to the whole thing to the end. Hope you guys can make it to Seattle. It will be an exciting few weeks here as we all jockey for position in the Pearl Jam ticket world. Keep doing what you do. Peace. Sean V. outside Vancouver.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, thanks, Sean.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, the show... sometimes the shows get lengthy when the dogs go crazy.
Thank God for editing.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, what do you got?
I got I almost said Sam.
Sam
Franco.
Good day, mate. Sam.
Hey, yo, what's up, Brads? I hope both of you are doing well. First off, I'll start with a quick intro as how I got into Pearl Jam. So here we go. Brace yourselves. In about December 2013, when I was in 10th grade, walking home from school, a band was performing a song and it just caught my attention. I looked it up to see what song it was, and it was Black from Pearl Jam. I think in the span of that month, or probably a couple weeks, I watched PJ20, MTV Unplugged, Pink Pop, and listened to 10. I was mind blown. It spoke to my angsty soul. Luckily, I rubbed off onto my best friend, and she was also mind blown by these performances / albums mentioned. Anyways, my awesome brother also hooked me up and downloaded Versus, Yield, Avocado, and Riot Act to my iPod. I fell further down the rabbit hole. I listened to No Code, Vitology, and Lightning Bolt further down the line, but I took a Pearl Jam break for a little bit. Don't worry, Brads. They are one of those bands I always come back to. Now fast forward to December, and I discovered your podcast. You guys provide such a great insight into the band, songs, and albums. I've been re-listening to all the other Pearl Jam albums chronologically, as well as attempting to put them in an order from my most to least favorite. And holy shit, Brads, it's too difficult. Or it's so difficult. I'll get back to you guys ASAP. Thanks for reigniting my love for Pearl Jam. Peace out.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sam.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's hard.
It's fun getting to hear people's journeys, and I don't know. It's so funny to me to remember sometimes, like, I mean, what? I think it's a she? Is the same as she?
I think so.
I don't want to get that wrong.
Yeah.
But what did it say? Oh, God, she's in 10th grade. When?
4 years ago.
4 years ago. Oh my God.
Well, I guess 5 years ago.
It's so cool. I mean, because sometimes I wonder if I like them so much because that was part of my youth. But then to hear all these people that go back and find them through these bizarre ways and are grabbed just like I was when I was a kid,
Yeah.
Something timeless about it. Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Well, thanks, Sam.
All right. Danny B.
Danny B is back.
You guys are like fucking whiskey, getting better with age.
Boom.
Thanks, Danny. This past week's 2 episodes, Mike McCready, songwriter, and Wrigley Field Night 2 are like your no code and yield. Whoa. That's...
Dang.
Man, it's all... Well, I shouldn't... That's awesome. Thank you. I enjoyed every minute and crave a fresh pod every Monday. Mike MF McCready. I'm left wondering if the MF is for the way he plays guitar or the songs he writes. For me, it's the fucking guitar.
It's both.
Yeah. My top 2 from the Pearl Jam catalog are Given to Fly and Present Tense. Enough said about how much I enjoyed the first podcast. Hopefully he liked the second one, the second Mike episode, but we got this before that dropped.
Yeah.
On Facebook, I commented that the set list for Wrigley 2 was incredible. As I listened to the rundown and commentary, it came to life, and I decided right then and there that I need to get to a day 2 show on this summer's expected tour. Now the real reason for this email. I would like to introduce to my fellow single podcast theory nerds the B&B Experience drinking game. This challenge, inspired by Brad Lyons' buddy who came to town for a job interview and to help him put life back into perspective. Get yourself a vat of alcohol. Quantity over quality is important. Cue up the next single podcast theory, and here are the rules. Number 1, every time someone swears, drink.
Retro.
Number 2, whenever someone says Brad, drink. If you hear singing, I'm open, drink. Number 4, if there's giggling, drink. And number 5, when Blazer confounds Lyons with a song that there's no way he could possibly love that song, but he does, drink.
So true.
When the podcast ends, all participants must immediately fire off an email. No editing, just unadulterated drunk messaging.
Oh, God.
And the one that makes the boys laugh the hardest, drink, is the winner. I am offering as first prize a B&B Hug Explosion at their first annual Single Podcast Theory Summer Gathering. Good luck, my fellow nerds. Danny B.
Boom.
I love it. Yeah, dude, I love it. I mean, you'd be drunk in the first 3 minutes, probably.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I can't deal with that. Thanks, Danny B. Appreciate it. We're not held responsible for anyone that plays this game on subsequent episodes and gets themselves into any kind of trouble. That's our disclaimer.
Right.
For legal reasons.
Right, for legal reasons.
Is this the last one? Yeah.
This is our last email.
Last email. All right, here we go. We got Dave. Dave's back. Let's see here. Brad's. Hope you are well. Are you fucking pumped? It looks like the boys might be touring in the U.S. again. Well, now,
I'm pumping my fist right now.
Yeah, dude.
I'm fucking pumped.
Like Arsenio.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was so terrible. Oh, don't do it. Of course, it's been confirmed since this email was written, but I hope you guys are as jacked as I am. Bucket list shows to see Pearl Jam in their element at home in Seattle. At least we know that show is confirmed. I would love to see them at home. Not sure if it will ever happen, but that's what bucket lists are for. I would like to thank you for this podcast yet again. It has gotten me through some tough times in the last couple of months, and it's nice that I can find some relief mixed with a good dose of humor to help get me through some tough times. Apologize for not writing you guys earlier. I didn't drop off the face of the earth. I was just trying to wrap my head around these crazy holidays. Unfortunately, we in the Pearl Jam community lost a fellow Pearl Jam fan unexpectedly this November. My friend Jerry passed away from suicide. It has taken me this long to figure out what to say or what words would make things normal. Still searching. I don't think there are any words that will accomplish that. I'm sorry, dude. It says Jerry... Yeah. Jerry was a guy that could light up any room. It didn't matter if you were having the shittiest day. Somehow, he could flip the switch and make things better. He was employed at Rob Zombie's Great American Nightmare outside Chicago, and he had the honor of having Eddie Vedder and John 5 come through the haunted house. He was on Cloud 9 for quite some time. Sadly, Jerry's last Pearl Jam show was Wrigley, August 22nd, 2016. I wanted to write this as a kind of tribute to him. When you become a fan club member, or even just a fan of a band this big, you become part of a group that will bend over backwards for their neighbor. He says in parentheses, I refuse to use the fucking word jamily. I've witnessed so much love and appreciation for this band through random acts of kindness by fans of Pearl Jam. Jerry is one of those fans that would do anything for anyone. I'm not sure how to end this letter. I guess if anyone out there is feeling like they can't make it, think about how many people would be left to pick up the pieces if you were gone. One drop creates many ripples. Please reach out and find help. There are numerous outlets that will listen and help. As much as you think people don't care, I'm sure the Brads fucking care. Of course we do. They care a lot, or they wouldn't be doing this show to make all of us in the Jamly go crazy. Thanks again, Brads, for all you fucking do. I appreciate your effort more than you will ever know. R.I.P. Jerry Lesprance. Off he goes. That's from Dave.
Yeah,
well,
thank you, Dave.
Dave, I believe we both responded to this one privately or whatever, but man, that's one of the things about the email section that I love is getting to, I don't know, man. It sounds cheesy. It's just a good reminder that we're all in this together. It's hard sometimes, and I don't know. Like you said, it's confusing because when you're in that spot, you're really, I mean, it seems obvious to say, but you're not thinking clearly. Right. And you just need those people around you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because for me in my history, that's always been the thing that keeps me from totally going through with stuff like that. In my, dealing with depression and anxiety and stuff like that is just that I'm very fortunate to have a lot of people around me that I couldn't let down in that way, Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm the same way. I've dealt with those feelings in the past, and you do feel like there's no one there, or that no one feels that same way. But sure. I mean, just if you are feeling that way, reach out to somebody, you know what I mean? And even if it's anonymous, just talk to somebody. Yep. Absolutely. About it. So the Brads love you if you're one of those people. Yeah, email us. Yeah, man. Seriously, email. I'll talk to you. I'll write you back. I'll talk to anyone, motherfucker. Yeah. So. All right, man. Well, thank you guys so much for the emails. Did you have anything else from the interwebs? Well, not to keep it on a sad note, but we should mention the passing of Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries. I think the last time we recorded, I don't think it had happened yet, but no, I don't think so. It was back. It was the way it relates to Pearl Jam. Like when I was
in the 90s, listening to Pearl Jam all the time, the Cranberries were huge.
Oh, yeah.
And some of those songs are incredible. She had such a unique voice,
Yeah.
So it was just sad to hear, because I think she was like 46.
Yeah, she's young.
I mean, it's so young. But
and I guess we still don't know what happened, or do we?
I mean, I guess we shouldn't say rumors.
No,
You know what
I don't want any rumors. I just didn't know if anything official had come out, but
I'm not sure if anything official came out, but I know she was found in a hotel room,
Right.
like by herself. So
Yeah.
you can kind of read between the lines. But yeah, it's just sad, because if I don't know, I think a lot of people that listen to, I don't know, just a lot of people in general have those kind of feelings. And, like you said, it does sound sappy or contrite, but it does get better. It's just in that moment, it's the worst thing. And you can't realize that it will get better, but it does.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Nothing good or bad is permanent.
Well, yeah.
It's hard to remember that sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's try and turn this frown upside down, my friends. And let's get into this week's episode topic.
Yes.
Soldier Field. Boom. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. All right. July 11th, 1995.
Yeah. And I think it's important as well to maybe, before we kind of get into the nuts and bolts of the show,
Right.
to give some context for kind of where the band was at this time, because No Code's not out yet, or they haven't started No Code. They would actually end up starting No Code the next day after this show. And I don't know, I think it was, what was the date? I think it was just like 2 or 3 weeks before this show. I think it was June 25th, there was like a really intense band meeting that they had that resulted in them canceling the remaining 7 shows that they had. And then 2 days later, they kind of reinstated the 2 shows at the Milwaukee Summerfest and the Soldier Field show. So the rest of the shows got rescheduled into the fall, but they kind of, I don't have all the details on what the story was at this, but they were definitely feeling the pressure, and this was definitely one of those "are we breaking up" moments. I think 2 of the major points with them canceling was Eddie getting sick. Yeah.
At that San Francisco show,
Right.
And also the huge Ticketmaster thing,
Right.
the whole thing with them playing. And I think those 2 things I think Eddie getting sick was the final straw, but the Ticketmaster thing had been going on for
a while. Yeah. Well, I mean, Jack's in the band now. They fired Dave, and Neil actually told them the very same thing during this time that he has said in interviews later that he had wished he had gotten to speak to Kurt about, which was, if you're not happy, just fucking stop.
Yeah.
Just like stop for a while. Mm-hmm. He was like, you guys are at the point, you guys will have a career. You know what I mean? Like, you're past that point. If you don't like what you're doing, just fucking stop doing it for a while and get your head together, Yeah. Which might have played into all those factors and the decision to cancel or reschedule a bunch of these shows. But to come off of all that shit going on, and then they do this Chicago show or this Soldier Field show, and they're so inspired by this show that they don't even take a break and they go into a studio in Chicago the next day, which we've talked about before. But because that's where Jack was feeling kind of pretty worn out, and it was one of those times where he's just like, did these guys ever fucking stop? We just played a 30-song set list the night before in the heat, and then we're jumping straight in the studio the next day,
Yeah. Well, and just to go back even a little bit further, when they played those shows in Milwaukee, those were pretty long too.
Yeah.
You know, they weren't 3.5 hours, but they were some long shows. And I was actually at the second night in Milwaukee. That was my first show.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was my first show. But they played like I want to say it was like 8 or 10 minute version of Little Wing that like morphed into and now the song is Maggot Brain.
Oh, wow.
Which is a funkadelic song.
Right.
So Little Wing morphed into Maggot Brain, and it was crazy. But Mike was hospitalized after that show for exhaustion.
Oof.
So to go from that show and then, you know, basically like 36 hours later, they do the Chicago show, you know, and Eddie had the stomach thing just 2 weeks before that, you know what I mean?
Something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, there was a lot going on before they hit the stage in Chicago.
It's a good show. Eddie's voice sounds pretty fucked up, but the set list is fucking insane.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Well, you want to dive into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, cool. Well, so one of my favorite openers, and I think you too.
Yeah.
Release, dude.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. That's one song. I mean, I hope I get to see a show where they open with Release.
Yeah.
That's one of the few. It's funny when I go back to listen to 10. I always listen to the Redux, the Brendan O'Brien mixes, but I guess it's just for sentimental whatever reasons. The original mix of Release still puts me in a very specific place. Being a kid, sitting on the armchair with an ottoman that was next to the stereo with the headphones plugged in. I have a very kind of visceral, immediate memory of that house. You know what I'm saying? It just kind of does something to me. What? Then we got Go.
go. They just after release, it's like they went crazy.
It is, man. It really is.
But I noticed something. Like I said, that Mike was like hospitalized for exhaustion. Mm-hmm. He's pretty subdued for Mike McCready at this show. You know what I mean?
Well, and forgive me, I'm trying to remember dates and timelines and stuff. Like, where was this? Do you know, in terms of one of his first stints into rehab? Because I know that some of that was in the Vitology era, but I can't remember where. Because a lot of times, I mean, he might have been exhausted, but a lot of times,
they call it.
I was gonna say it's like PR speak for
right.
Dude's fucked up and needs to get his shit together. But
yeah.
So I don't know whether it was true exhaustion or not. I'm not going to speculate really, but I just wonder where all that fits into the timeline of his sobriety. You know,
I don't know, to be honest with you.
We'll have to look that up.
Yeah. But I mean, his playing is incredible.
Yeah.
But he's just not like running around and rocking out like he normally would, you know?
Sure. Well, I think that's one of the. It's so weird. I love the fact. Well, here's the deal. You can't keep those tours up that just have like 50 dates in them forever, right? Like,
right.
And in some ways, I'm happy for the quality over quantity in which the way they tour now, but at the same time, it just makes it harder to go see shows if you live in Birmingham, Alabama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I remember, I mean, I feel like it's been a while since they played like Nashville or Atlanta, somewhere that's easy for me to get to, you know?
Right.
But then they do this kind of like 1-2 punch of record openers. So we had Go, then we got Last Exit.
Yeah.
The Vitology opener.
Yeah. And Jack's intro just on those drums are just incredible.
Yeah.
And that's like an overall thing with this whole show is Jack. Like we've talked about Jack not being able to play Dave A's songs as well as Dave. But dude, on this, he's fucking amazing on this show, this concert.
Huh.
I mean,
see, I don't feel that way.
Oh, wow.
I was watching it. I was just like, I mean,
I love it.
This is all within the context. He's a great drummer.
Right.
But
his playing just, I mean, whatever Mike was going through, and Eddie's voice is just like so fucked up and raw.
Yeah.
His playing adds to the like roughness and rawness.
No, I agree with that.
Of the band, and I love it. I think it sounds incredible. And
yeah.
It adds to it. I mean, Dave A was like way more like polished, I guess, than Jack. So I think listening to those songs on the record, they sound really good that way, but I love it live. I think Jack is in this setting was just incredible.
Yeah. Well, I think it just goes back to the same thing. You know, I feel like Jack is great on Jack songs.
Yeah.
That he recorded or whatever, but
that's what I'm saying, dude. We've had this conversation and I've been agreeing with you, but this show kind of changed my mind a little bit on that.
Interesting. Yeah, it did the opposite for me.
Oh, it's just solidified your your argument?
I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here's the thing, and I'm just gonna say it. Like, I have this weird, and this is just me. This is subjective. This is my perspective. This is not a comment on what's, right
Everyone
or wrong.
should think, right?
I like these episodes where we cover live shows are interesting for me because, like, the Wrigley shows were great. I enjoyed doing those, and I'm enjoying doing this episode, but
Yeah.
I have a different feeling about live shows.
Yeah.
And that is, and why I'm not as, I listen to them or whatever, but I'm not as into like bootlegs and stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that I personally kind of feel that live is what it is. Like it's about being there. It's about seeing it happen in front of you. It's about the light show. It's about what the set list is going to be. It's about the
Just the
people that are there
spontaneity.
with you.
Yeah.
It's only supposed to exist for that period of time.
Right.
And then it's
I
done.
get that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, like going through track by track, I feel kind of self-conscious because I feel like I don't necessarily have something to say about every song. I like listening to Boots where they've done something different, or I remember always wanting to hear like a Daughter or something where they would throw in little snippets of other cover songs into the end.
Yeah.
Like I want to check that kind of stuff out, but I don't know. I don't get as much. I feel like I'm critical when I listen to bootlegs, which is the whole reason why I don't do it, which is because that has nothing to do with what this is about. Like,
Yeah,
who gives
see,
a shit if Eddie's misses these notes or if
Right.
Jack flubbed a fill or whatever? Like, that's
Yeah.
not what it's about.
Yeah. Oh, and see, I'm the opposite. I'm like super uncritical when I listen to live stuff because it's live. You know what I mean? And it's
Sure.
like I get that on the album. That's why albums take months and months to put together, because they're fixing all the little tiny imperfections.
Yeah, they're figuring out how they want to present the song,
Yeah. But when you watch it live, it's just they're just up there doing it, and I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah. It's just a weird thing for me. It's like I don't listen to bootlegs, or I guess the problem is that I do listen to bootlegs like I do records.
Yeah.
There's
right.
a little bit of like this critical mind going on with me,
Yeah.
even though that's not at all what I feel like shows are about.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah. Try to next time you listen, come at it from a different perspective.
Yeah. I try.
You know?
I try, man. I'm trying,
Stop
dude.
being so hypercritical.
All right. So where were we?
Last exit. I think watching the bootleg, Stone is see, I listen to a lot, but I don't watch a lot on YouTube. And I didn't see them a lot in the 90s. So to me, Stone looks like
He's in it, dude.
Yeah, he's super animated, and he is chugging on the guitar like Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day. I mean, he is just like doing that up and down, like hammering,
He's got that
jackhammering
stiff
at his guitar, and I'm like, whoa! Like I'd never seen Stone that animated.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, you know?
Well, and this is why I believe it was Michael Keane asked the question last week about what tours, if you could go back to see the band, what tour would it be on? And that's why that whole Versus Vitology era is probably what I don't know which one, but I would go back to those where the whole band was just kind of lost every show, it seemed like.
Right.
And especially with Stone. Mike's been consistent and kind of running around the stage and having that rock star thing dialed in. Jeff still does Jeff, He's still kind of like hunched over and kind of rocking along with the music.
Gets into it sometimes when he needs to.
Sure. And of course, you know, Eddie's not climbing rafters anymore, which I think is smart. That's one of the reasons why he's still alive, I feel like.
Right.
But
Yeah.
but Stone's definitely the one that has completely chilled out. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying
Right.
to go back to those shows, you know, in this era and see him really like excited is nice.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So talking about heavy part of the set, I mean, yes, they opened with a Release, but we've just seen Go, Last Exit, now Spin the Black Circle.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Like I said, Eddie's vocals are just raw.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
from these.
to the point
'cause
of
there's
being
some-
shitty, but in a good way.
Yeah, that's. I was trying to figure out how to say it because it doesn't. He doesn't sound like bad or like his voice is cracking. But he's going for it, and his vocal cords are just so fucking like throaty
Yeah.
and raw.
Yeah.
But it still sounds like Eddie, you know, and you can feel the emotion in it, even though it doesn't sound the most. You know, I don't want to say professional, but I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
But it seems like, so the next song, Tremor Christ. He kind of gets a breather, you know?
A little bit.
Because he does, when he's not like screaming the lyrics, because, you know, Tremor Christ obviously is a little bit of a slower kind of song until the end when he's doing the I'll Decide.
Right.
Then he's like back to 11
Yeah.
with his vocals, you know?
Sure. Then we got, you know, fan favorite Corduroy.
Yeah. I like listening back to some of these earlier shows or like when a record has just come out, because you hear the song. I know you and Clint really get on these guys about how they play the song so fast. But like Corduroy here, it sounds like the record version where it's the like normal pace.
Right.
And it sounds incredible.
Yeah. But see, and that's the whole thing, why I went into that little commentary earlier about how I approach listening to this stuff, is that it's so...
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Do you think that comes from you being a touring musician in your lifetime, that you're hearing it from that perspective?
Yeah. Yes.
And kind of... Yeah. See,
I mean,
that's what I'm
in
saying.
The studio, like, you know, tempo, when you're putting together a song in the studio, is so fucking important.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's understandable, but that's one of the things people don't think about. Like I love Corduroy, even though you listen to it in comparison to live stuff, the record version of Corduroy it gives space because it's slower, like the groove is there, the dynamics are easier to get in and out of, I feel like. And that's one of those examples of things like when I'm listening to the live show, I have to get myself out of that brain and go, man, they're playing live. I love bands that like don't play to a click track and just get up there and fucking do it.
Right.
And
that's
they're playing
how I
it
look
fast
at
because
it.
they're amped up.
Right. That's how I look at it.
know?
Like, these 5 guys are physically in front of me playing their instruments together. And it may be fast. It may not sound like the record, but they're doing it and it sounds good. You know, I give them, I guess, leeway that it doesn't sound the same as the record.
Sure.
Because they're up there doing it like right here, right now.
Yeah,
that makes sense?
No bullshit. Yep.
Right. You need to listen to more bootlegs. That's what it is.
I have been over the last few months.
To get out of the, it sounds so different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay. You're right. I'm wrong. You're smart. I'm stupid.
I'm not saying that.
You're good looking. I'm ugly.
Yeah, I'm so hot.
So hot. All right. Well, and they keep it going, man. They go into whipping. Which might not be one of my favorite songs, but you know, it's still a kind of a blistering, up-tempo, angry song. You know,
it's just more of Eddie blowing out his vocal cords and Stone being non-stony and just rocking out like crazy. You know,
non-stony, is that a technical term? Unstoned.
We should mention that right before they started whipping, Eddie came up to the mic and was talking about how they wanted to thank the Grateful Dead because the Grateful Dead had played that weekend.
Yeah.
And part of what we were talking about, like being exhausted and getting sick in Ticketmaster, was that they were playing all these crazy venues. And I think... I don't know, maybe someone else can tell me, but I was reading something about that they canceled the show in Chicago And then because of the Grateful Dead playing, they re-announced that show, but had to cancel the venue and moved it to Soldier Field. And I don't know the history part of that. So if anyone knows, correct me if I'm wrong or tell me what I'm thinking about. But the way it read was that they were thanking the Grateful Dead for leaving their stage for them to come and play on it.
I don't think we should play another note until we thank the Grateful Dead for letting us use their stage. They left it for us. There were still joints left on it from Saturday. So we think it's only right that we play as long as they do. We're just gonna play a bunch of songs for you. Keep playing. Have a good night out there, all right?
And, you know, I just thought that was pretty cool. But Eddie said there was, walking around the stage, there was still joints left over.
Yeah, I think he said something to the effect of, he said something like, we think it's only right, what was it? We think it's only right that we play as long as they do.
Right.
So
yeah.
kind of telling everyone this is going to be a long show.
Yeah.
Because you have to think about it. At the time, they only had 3 records out, you know?
Right. And Grateful Dead, some Deadheads can correct me, but I think, was this Jerry Garcia's last show?
I don't know. I'm not as schooled in Grateful Dead.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he passed away a few months ago, but I don't know for sure.
I know they're your favorite band other than Pearl Jam.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. Those dancing bears. Oh, man.
So then we get into something else that's cool after Whipping, which is they played 3 unreleased songs on the show, and this is the first one of them, which was I Got Id.
My lips are shaking, my nails are paid off. It's been a month and a day since I've heard myself talk. Oh, your advantage is like God only picture an empty cup in the middle of the sea. Questions, I don't know who the fuck to ask. So I'll just lie alone and wait for the train. That I'm not ugly and you're looking at me.
Yeah.
Which is really cool to hear.
Oh, yeah.
As I've said before, that's one of my favorite Pearl Jam songs that will definitely be way up at the top of my list when we do kind of a top 10 non-album.
Yeah, totally. Me too. That's
whatever.
Man, off the top of my head, that might be my number 1. But
so fucking good.
I don't know. Yeah, it is incredible.
Well, and for you, this is like a 1-2 punch because I got Id, and then you get Dissident.
Yeah, yeah. You talk about it getting punched. Yeah, that's how I feel.
So why don't we talk about this song, Brad?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Wee.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I just played a little bit of it there.
Well, and then they saved themselves from you with Even Flow up next.
Yeah,
Right.
I love it. They Eddie dedicated this to a local super underground musician named Wesley Willis. Have you ever heard of Wesley?
Dude, I used to listen to him all the time in high
Really?
school. Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know the story behind it, but
Well, he's a paranoid schizophrenic homeless guy.
right.
In Chicago, I believe.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, he had this little like drum machine
Yeah.
or something, or like a keyboard. I should have brushed back up on my Wesley Willis
Yeah.
knowledge, but that he would just play the same track, like recorded track that comes with the keyboard, but he would just
Yeah.
like either switch keys or like slow it down and speed it up for different songs.
Yeah.
And he would just ramble. Like there was Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette. And he would say stuff like, rock you like a magic kiss, or
Right.
rocket to Russia, or man, I need to go back and listen to that stuff. Now that I'm talking about it, I have so many memories.
What is the word for that kind of art? There's is it outsider art?
I mean, I don't know. I've never heard.
Okay. Well, I've heard there's some kind of term for the genre that he does, but it's very different kind of music. So
you are a rock star. You are a rock legend to the max. You can really knock it out. You can really whoop a horse's ass. Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette. You are a rocky maniac. You are a singing hyena. You are a rock star in Jesus' name. You can really rock Saddam Hussein's ass. Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette, Alanis Morissette.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
they-
very bizarre.
yeah,
And
but
I
there's
mean,
something
you can
there's
tell.
something interesting about it.
Well, supposedly he would purposefully take himself off his
Office meds.
to record, and then get back on them. So when you listen to it, I mean, what he's kind of ad-libbing over this shitty track is very disjointed, and I mean, you can tell that he's a schizophrenic, you know?
Yeah, and the production value is not that great.
No, but this is someone that, you know, would tour around on a tour bus and do club shows, you know, play the shit live. It was crazy.
Yeah, and sadly he passed away.
Yeah.
but
Well, then we get into one of my favorites, which is Deep.
On the windowsill, harnesses makeup, harnesses will to the street below. He just ain't nothing, but he's got a great view, and he sings, you know, deep and touch the bottom into deep.
this is a really good. I felt like this is a really good performance of this song.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's, you know, going back again because of the time period. Eddie still had a lot of his onstage mannerisms from the 10 Verses era, you know.
Yeah.
Because he's slowly over the years kind of chilled out in some ways and stayed a little bit more stationary.
Well, again, that's another interesting thing that I like going back to listen to these older bootlegs. When you think about it, they're only, 3 years removed from 10
Yeah.
being put out? Or I guess 4 years,
yeah.
3.5 years.
Yeah.
But still, that's nothing. You know what I mean? So you do get a more, I don't know, closer to a pure version of these songs or the record version of these songs rather than the way they play them now.
Right.
Which isn't a bad thing. It's just you can see the evolution of how these songs come out live now versus back then is really, that's something that's super interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, and I think we can move on to the next song, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me that Deep and Jeremy are two songs off of 10 that in hindsight you can go back and say this is a lot closer to the sound that you would get on, and songwriting that you would get on Verses and Vitology than the rest of the record.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Deep could have been a song on Verses or Vitology,
Right.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel that way about an Alive or Once or something like that.
Right.
Jeremy, what they did a bunch of stuff with it. Is it Jeremy? No, or is it Daughter where they do a bunch of
Daughter.
It was Daughter. Okay.
Yeah. The little snippets.
Yeah, of other people's songs.
Right.
And, who was it? Well, make someone happy. We can talk about Glorified G.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
One of our
Where's the
listeners-
love?
Yeah.
Was it Dave?
It might have been. I don't remember. But I fucking love this song, man.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been able to. I'd love to see this song live.
Yeah.
This is a song that I haven't looked up to see how many times this has been played or whatever, but I can't think it. I can't imagine it's on the high end of plays in a tour, but maybe it is. But I'd love to see that song live.
Yeah. I never have, unfortunately.
How many shows have you been to? I mean, serious.
Oh, 9.
9. Okay, cool.
Yeah. No, I just looked it up. They've played Glorified G 135 times. Which is not a lot.
That's not a lot.
You know what I mean? For being off their second album, yeah, they haven't played it a lot.
Interesting. It must have all been during that time. Or most
Pretty
of
much.
them.
I'm scrolling through. There's an app called Stat Tracker.
Yeah.
It's awesome. But yeah, they played it a ton in 93 and 94. And then it dropped off. They brought it back in 03, it looks like. And then just sporadically over the years.
It's such a cool, quirky song. It's
Yeah,
weird.
I love it.
It's like a quirky pop song.
Yeah.
That guitar part is so kind of weird, but it's super hooky and energetic, and I don't know. Even though it's kind
It's got
of
one
tongue
of
in
the
cheek, but
it's got one of the better misheard lyrics also.
what?
the glorified version of a pelican.
Oh, right. Well, and then we move into Daughter.
Long, listless, breakfast table and otherwise empty room. Young girl, violins, center of her own attentions. Oh, mother reads aloud, child tries to understand it, tries to make her cry. The shades roll down its in her head, painted room, canteen eyes, something wrong, don't go.
Yes.
Is this a song for you that you? I'm sure you've seen it live, but if you've been
Yes.
to 9 shows, but is
Yeah.
that something that excites you, or is that one that you're like, I could do without it?
This is the cupcake song.
What does that mean?
We talked about how you eat the bottom part of the cupcake to get through to the frosting part. And that's how Daughter is for me live. Because I've heard it a million times. It's not like it's a good song. I'm not saying I hate it. But I've heard it a million times. It's a slow song. It's good, whatever. But then you get to the tag, which is the little snippets that they throw in at the end.
Yeah.
And those are always awesome. You know what I mean? Because it's just them. It's kind of like they're doing like a little improv-y jam type thing.
Right.
So I love that aspect of it. And since it's live, it's usually a rotating thing of different tags. So like this time we get The Real Me, which is a Who song.
Right.
And then
They did like 3 on this one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did the Who's Real Me, and then a little bit of WMA.
That's right. Yep.
And then Another Brick in the Wall,
Yeah.
which Another Brick in the Wall was or has been. I think that's where it started. Like when they would play Daughter, it would morph into Another Brick in the Wall.
Yeah, they did that a lot for a while.
Yeah. But it's always fun for me to see them like while they're playing Daughter. I'm thinking, what are we gonna get? You know?
Sure.
And I think my favorite one, I don't know if it's the most famous one, but is when they play It's Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's great.
That's like the most incredible version of Daughter when they tag it with It's Okay. So
Yeah.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me, to be honest with you, I'd just be happy to be at a show. You know what I'm saying? It's like I catch myself again going back to what I said earlier. Like, man, if I was at this show, I wish they had taken out Daughter, and like, there's like 6 other songs that I wish I would have heard. But if I was at the show, I'd be happy as fuck with whatever they play.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Well, then they go.
Now, when you're standing there and they start playing it, you will get that feeling of the first time you heard that song on the record and you loved it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. It's like what I've said about Even Flow and Alive before. You know, as far as when I'm at home listening to stuff or whatever, I'm over it. But
Yeah.
I'd feel kind of gypped if I went to a show and they didn't play Even Flow or Alive.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I want to see those songs. It's just they represent something so huge in the live context, you know.
Well, it's like, Metallica. Like, I'm not a big fan of their hard rock 90s stuff, Load and Reload, and even the Black Album to an extent. But when I went to see them in St. Louis and they started playing Fuel, I was fucking rocking out.
How can you not be?
I know.
That's so cool, man.
But if that song like comes on my shuffle or
Right,
something,
you'll skip it.
I'm just like, nah. Yeah.
I want to listen to Dyer's
I'm
Eve.
good. Yeah, exactly. So,
Well, then they kick into Animal. kick ass. Mm-hmm. Again, like, you get these chunks of songs like Go, into Last Exit, into Spin the Black Circle, into Tremor Christ, Whipping, into I got Id, then you've got Even Flow, into Deep, into Jeremy. Like, they don't really chill. They haven't really chilled out yet.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So
which that's another thing. They only had the 3 albums out.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they didn't have a lot of slower, more chilled out songs to reach out to, you know?
Sure. Well, and especially if they're gonna, again, I'm not as up on my Pearl Jam live history as far as set lists go, but, you know, you've got, like, the slow jams are usually kind of used for openers. Usually, not always, but,
yeah.
I mean, are you really gonna expect Oceans halfway through a set?
Right.
You know? I don't think so.
No,
I'm not saying.
Not in these days.
Right.
Those days.
Right. Well, so we get Animal, which is great, and then I would have loved to have been there for this and just gone like, what songs are these? To hear Habit and Lucan back to back.
Right.
Unreleased new tracks.
Yeah.
Fuck yes. Well, and 2, because, I mean, okay, obvious things. All right, so No Code's my favorite album. Whatever. But I hear a lot of people kind of say that they will kind of skip Lucan and Habit on No Code. And
yeah, fuck that. And fuck those
people. Those are ones that, well, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to go that far. Easy, bud. We're going to have to hire security because people want to kill us now. But for me, sometimes those are the songs that make me want to go back and listen to No Code.
Yeah.
You know, I love Habit.
Yeah. It's funny, too, that they played these 2 back to back because I've always felt that they were like
kind of brother-sister songs.
Yeah, exactly. Because they both have that really, you know, fast guitar riff, you know. So that would be awesome.
I mean, that's one of the things just in general why they're, you know, my favorite fucking rock band is that I think I have taste that's diverse in a way that fits their catalog, in the sense that I love songs like Black or Elderly Woman or Oceans or whatever, but I also like really raw, dirty shit, you know?
Right. That sounded good.
I know. I could have chosen some better words
I'm
for
the
that,
same
but you
way,
get what
dude.
I'm saying. And it's like you get all of that with this band.
Yeah.
You know? I love that there's songs like Habit and Lucan in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, and it sounds like, too, I mean, not that you're really zoned into lyrics for Lucan when they play it live, but there's certain little spots where it seemed like he hadn't worked out all the lyrics yet.
I think he sang the lyrics correctly one time.
In this show?
In this, no, in the studio. No, on Lucan.
Oh.
I don't think Lucan's ever been sang correctly except on the record.
There is no correct way.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Oh, it's rough. This version is really. He usually gets the first verse correct live.
Yeah.
And then the second verse just falls apart. But I don't think he got any of the words correct in this at this show.
Yeah, I agree.
But
and then Not For You.
yeah, this was
another chill song.
Yeah. This was when he started talking about before the show, Q101, the local alternative station, they hired a plane to fly over Soldier Field all day with like a Q101 banner, but it also said "Not For You" on it. Because that was like their big advertising thing, like that month. Like all the billboards in Chicago said like "Not For You," then Q101. And then they flew this airplane over the stadium. And they admitted, I read an interview that they admitted that they were trying to start some shit with Eddie. Just trying to antagonize him into whatever.
Why?
Saying something just because it's a radio station. They're trying to get, free advertising.
Right.
Which is stupid because those fucking people wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for these bands. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that gets lost on a lot of people.
Yeah. So, Eddie's, I just love that the speech that he gives about where he says the joke's on them because this song is not for them.
And today we were all watching Otis Rush, and it was just a beautiful day. I was just into it, and then there was all these flying bugs with banners with radio stations, lame ass messages on the back. Fucking up the view. I'm against guns and military spending, but a big piece of something would have been great right about then. Anyone, one of the radio stations, they said they had a 2-hour Pearl Jam show afterwards. Well, if you listen to 89.1, we got a radio station out of our van in the back. Get the real shit. I think we're broadcasting right now this whole show out of the van to Chicago. All the people who couldn't get in or thought it was gonna suck because it was such a big place, well, fuck them. I understand. I know where they're coming from, though. But you know that whole thing about radio I guess there's a big billboard. It's every fucking where. It says, something, something, this is not for you. Well, the joke's on them, because it's not for them.
Dan, Dan, Dan. And they go into it, you know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And he said something similar at the Milwaukee show. I think we played that clip on that show when I talked about the Milwaukee show. But he was more going into like bootleggers and people scalping tickets at the show I was at.
I'm a bootlegger.
Right.
What show is that from?
I don't know.
I'm a bootlegger. Seinfeld.
Is it? Oh God, yeah.
When George decides to be a movie
Right, he
bootlegger.
was doing the movies.
Oh God.
Man, your impression was so good. How did I not
it's
realize
terrible.
that's what you were doing?
Yeah, I don't know. It sounded exactly like George Costanza.
But yeah, after Not For You, they go into this little Wing jam.
Oh, right.
And you said that was because Stone's guitars were fucked up?
No, that happened.
Oh, did we skip it?
Yeah, it was after Even Flow.
After Even Flow.
Because it looks like Jeff's board was fucked up or something. Because
Okay,
if you
yeah.
watch the YouTube video,
Right.
I think it's Stone starts playing that weird little riff thing, and then it looks like a tech keeps running back and forth.
Yeah.
And
Well, what
looking
they're
at Jeff's board.
So after Even Flow, what you're talking about, they start playing a song called Sick of Pussies, which I think is Eddie's previous band. It's one of their songs from Bad Radio. And the thing that sticks out to me about this is Eddie walks in a fucking circle like for the entire minute or two while he's singing and they're playing this song.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like so weird because there's like not really any stage lights on.
Yeah.
And he's just like walking in a circle just over and over and over playing or singing that song.
Right.
It's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Sounds like, well, we need to jam on something until Jeff gets his shit figured out.
Right. But yeah, so anyway, back to after Not For You, they start playing Little Wing, which is it's good too. It's not just like 2 seconds of it. They get into it, you know?
Right.
But then the crowd starts a Ticketmaster sucks chant. And
Fuck you,
Eddie
Dad.
kind of yeah. But Eddie starts talking about it, and it's interesting because he's like, you can tell he's kind of over it. You know, he's like, well, it's up to you guys now. Like, we did our part.
Yeah, and he kind of talks about other bands not jumping on with them.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, at least they tried, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, my voice just cracked like I'm going through puberty. Hey, guys. How's it going?
Start calling you Peter Brady.
I like girls. All right, so then they go into Elderly Woman.
I seem to recognize your face, haunting, familiar, yeah. I can't seem to place it. Can I find a candle of thought to light your name? Lifetimes are catching up with me. All these changes take place. I wish I'd seen a place where no one's ever taken me. Hearts and thoughts, they fade.
Okay.
Yeah, another. It's good.
It's cool.
It's a good song.
Yeah, I'm good.
They usually open with that these days, or not open with it, but yeah, they open with that sometimes. That's one of the
really early in the set.
Right. Yeah.
And then one of my favorites, Immortality.
So near to her, cannot find the comfort in this world.
Yeah, dude. This this is an incredible version because it's the end like jam part. They really go crazy.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Such a badass song.
Yeah.
And then we get our beloved Alive.
Yeah. Another great version of it. And this is another one that stuck out to me with Jack and his drums, like during this, like the solo going into the end of it. Jack is just on fire.
Yeah. I wonder if I'm just like in a
IMO.
I wonder if I'm just in like a Matt Cameron, Dave Abbruzzese phase right now or something.
I guess so.
And then another
Which
staple.
that's fine.
Porch.
1, 2, 3, 4. What the fuck is this world coming to today? Leave a message, at least I could learn your voice one last time. Daily minefield is good. Be my time by yours. Would you hit me? Would you hit me?
Yeah, and this again, that these last three songs, they go into the jam part of their name. They just jam out on these songs. The Porch is almost 8 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, but Eddie doesn't, you know, he didn't jump in the crowd or anything. He was kind of like what I was saying about Mike, is he was kind of subdued a little bit.
Who was?
I don't know if you... Eddie,
yeah.
I mean, he wasn't really running around, or he didn't jump into the crowd or anything like that, you know? And especially at this point, I think those days were over.
Gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, and unfortunately, this plays into why, if I could go back in time, this being part of the era that I would probably go back to. But, man, it's just that they seem a little confused and frustrated and also full of energy, and I don't know. It's just, you can hear in hindsight from this period that they're a band that's like gotten so huge so fast.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of that, like, what the fuck are we doing? Are we principled in the way we're doing this? Like, but I think that tension is also why it's one of my favorite kind of periods in the Pearl Jam history, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But that was the end of the official set, and they come out for their first encore with a little Sly and Family Stone.
Sometimes I'm right, and I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. A butcher, a baker, jack irons and linen. Makes no difference what a group I'm in. I'm everyday people, yeah.
Everyday People.
Yeah.
It's cool. These two songs, the first two songs of this first encore, they have Brendan O'Brien out on organ, I believe.
I was wondering who that was.
He came and sat in with the boys.
Yeah, Everyday People is kind of a weird choice, I guess.
They do have some weird choices for covers sometimes.
Yeah, but dude, they nailed it.
Oh,
It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know? Especially after like the blistering 22, 23 tracks they just played.
No shit.
They come out with this like super upbeat 70s, you know, song about like unity. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and then Let My Love Open the Door.
Love open the
Oh
door.
my God. That song like gets me every time. The way
Really?
I love it, dude. Yeah.
Get the fuck out. Add it to the
Yeah.
list. Check. What?
drink up, Danny B.
Oh my god.
You don't like this
I
song?
love this song.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
surprised
You just
that do.
surprised I like
Yeah.
it. Well, I'll let you in on a little
Ooh, let me in.
emotional experience. Have you ever seen this movie called Dan in Real Life?
I never saw that.
It's like the family all gets together for the weekend, and it's what's his name is in it? The actor from The Office,
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell is Dan, and I think he just got divorced, or maybe his wife died, and he gets together with the family like at their summer house, and they do like a talent show, and he sings this like by himself, and it's like I just like break down crying every time I watch that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude, it's incredible. But I mean,
I heard that was a good movie.
It's not just him. I love that song, and they fucking kill it. Pearl Jam kills it
Hell
on
yeah.
this at this show. So
Pete Townsend, man.
yeah, love it.
Then Better Man.
Better. Yeah.
I don't know why I sang it like that. Could you see my jazz hands?
Yeah.
Better Man. Well. All right. That was from a Christopher Guest movie. I'm moving on. Better Man. Yeah. What you got about Better Man?
Waiting, watching the clock, it's 4 o'clock, it's got to stop. Tell him, take no more. She practices her speech as he opens the door. She rolls over, pretends to sleep as he looks her over. She lies and says she's in love with him. Can't find a better man. She dreams in color, she dreams in red. Can't find a better man. Can't find a better man. Can't find a better man.
Me? I loved it more at this time in my life than I do right now.
Yeah. Same
Does
here.
that make sense?
Yep.
It's a great song, but Eddie in the long run was right. It's one of those songs that became like a huge hit, and I've heard it a billion times, and they play it at every show, and you know, I'm just over it. It's not a bad song. It's just I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it fits in the category of Alive in the sense that the relationship between the band and the crowd live has kind of, in some ways, maybe, well, not changed the meaning of the song, but brought a different perspective to it. Because those are two pretty fucking dark songs.
Yeah.
You know?
That's the thing I always think is funny, the people that don't get that it's not like a happy, like my husband is the best man in the world.
It's
no,
not that
it's
at
like
all.
that's not what he's saying.
It's like, it's the same as I remember it was like a Sting interview, I believe, and he was like, you know, all these people that like Every Breath You Take is like their wedding song.
Right.
And it's like, dude, that's about that's a creepy ass stalker.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. No, Better Man is sad.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, and you know, growing up with a single mother, like you read those lyrics and you're just like, oh, like
She
like,
lies and says she's in love with him.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's like, oh man,
Dude.
how sad.
Well, let's get out of Downerville with Rearview Mirror. Another really happy song.
Right. Oh, it's yeah.
But I
it is.
fucking love this song. Live,
I do too.
recorded. I just love this song.
Yeah, me too. That's another one that still gets me. Live, I mean, I break down when they play that live. It just brings me back to a certain point in my life. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's one of those songs that does that to me, and I can't help it.
I hear you.
So
Okay, dude, I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to stop. I'm literally like shaking in my chair because I have to pee so bad.
all right,
It's
go
gonna
ahead.
literally take like 60 seconds. Hold on. Okay.
Yeah, you better.
Whew, man, I didn't think I was gonna make it.
We could have stopped at any time.
My legs were trembling.
Oh my god, dude! Just next time, fucking tell me.
Okay, and up next we've got Brad B's favorite of all time.
Yes.
Black.
Yeah, another one.
Stones not playing. Sheets of empty canvas on torn sheets of paper.
Another one that just gets to me every time live. You know.
Yeah. What is it about Black that gets to you?
I'm sure the same thing that everyone likes about it when he's talking about, just wanting to stay in love with someone that's left you.
Right.
That whole, how do you say it? That whole, I hate that I can't think of words, dude. I sound so stupid. That whole thing about love.
So eloquent.
Yeah. Good thing I do a podcast every week.
I know, right?
I have to talk and say words.
Make noises with your face.
Right.
Isn't it weird that that's what we do? We make noises
Yeah.
with our face and we understand
Yeah.
them. And there's different types of noises that other people can't
Yeah.
understand. Anyway, don't get me started. See, I think it's funny that something like Black, I can still be that younger, heartbroken person, even though that's not where I am in my life right now.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It'll do that to you.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, you got two of your favorites back to back, and then they end Encore 2 with one of my all-time favorites, which is Blood.
Encore 1.
Oh, sorry. What did I say?
But yeah. Encore 2. You said they end Encore 2
I
with
quit.
Blood. Yeah.
I quit.
Good thing you do a podcast.
Good thing, huh?
A radio show every week.
What'd you do if I just start bawling crying right now?
Oh, man. It's you're good. I don't know what I'd do. I gotta piss, man.
Do you?
No.
Oh.
That's what I would say, though.
I'll be back, bro.
I'll be
I'll be right back, man.
Get it out. Let it all out.
Well, and I think ending your first encore. This is song number like 28 or 29.
Yeah.
And you're gonna do Blood. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
As if his voice wasn't seemingly
Right.
on its way out, at the beginning of the show. Now they're gonna do
Yeah.
Blood. I love it, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a hot fuck.
No. That's what I was saying. It's not like he's having an off night. He's putting it all out there. As far as
the
his
thing is,
vocals.
he always does. Like, I have many, many experiences as a touring musician, playing for other people where they're like, oh, my voice doesn't sound great. Let's change up the set list tonight and basically do all easy songs,
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, and with Eddie, it's just like, fuck that. I just don't even think that it plays into his thinking at all.
Yeah.
He just thinks, man, it'd be badass to end with blood.
Especially with a month earlier, the San Francisco show, he did leave mid-show. And I'm sure that had some effect on him, like, I'm never doing that again. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plus, I mean, they didn't have, this was the last show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a few months. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure they all were like, fuck it.
Blow it out. And then go in the studio the next day.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and then I guess it's technically Encore 2, but it's just one song, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your Precious Yellow Ledbetter.
Okay, here's one.
At the Soldier Field, yeah.
Wow, did you just drop in a clip from it? Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, I
couldn't tell.
Yeah, probably.
If that was you.
That was me, bro.
Oh, wow.
I'm good. I'm real good. I mean, people think I hate the song. I don't hate the song, but I don't really have anything to say about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've talked about it before. I like it. I like it. I like the song, and I like that they end with it because over the years that they keep using this song to close the shows, it's become like a goodbye letter to the fan, to the crowd, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we just put everything out there, and now we're gonna play this just to put a button on it.
Yeah, it was cool. They played Little Wing twice at Soldier Field.
I'm not gonna argue there, because the first time I heard it on the radio, I thought they were playing Little Wing.
Yeah.
Till he started singing, and I'm like, oh wait, what is this? This was like a mashup before there was mashups.
Yellow Ledbetter. Yellow Ledbetter.
Did you hear? Have you heard the mashup of Footloose and Jeremy?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is incredible.
So good.
I love that stuff.
Yeah. Because I can just picture you with your phone in your hand, finding one of those things and just giggling to yourself. that laugh right there. That
I don't know, dude. I'm like, oh my God, this is the most incredible thing I've ever heard. Like, how did they come up with this? And I have to like show Susan and Amanda, and
yeah, I get it.
And they're both like, what are you talking about? This is awful.
I dig it.
You work in a studio, can't you? You should do some mashups.
Yeah, I should totally. That's what I should
Lions.
use my remaining spare time of my life.
Yes.
Is doing mashups.
Yes, I will send you ideas, and you can mash them up.
Sorry, friends and family that I already don't see. I'm really not going to see you now because I got to.
While you're editing and cutting drops, I will send you the songs to mash up.
Never going to happen.
And then when you're done with the episode, you can work on that.
Yeah, but I'll get right on it.
So,
well, that was Soldier Field.
Yeah,
July 11th, 1995. Let us know what you think.
Sorry.
Go ahead. What?
I was just going to say that this show was broadcast live on the radio as part of the Monkey Wrench Radio.
It was the first one, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was the first one.
Everyone can correct me, but I'm pretty sure I looked it up, and it was the first time Monkey Wrench Radio broadcasted from the van in the parking lot of the venue for the show, which is pretty fucking cool.
But it was widely bootlegged.
Oh yeah,
like everyone had tapes of it, and then they put out. There's been bootleg vinyls for years. But what I'm getting at is that Pearl Jam officially released this show on vinyl.
It's just like last month, wasn't it?
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure the vinyl is already sold out. It's one of the vault shows that they put out. But the CD, you can get the CD or digital download, and it sounds a little bit better. But the sound of the bootleg is really good because it was straight from the board.
Yeah.
And then, out to the radio. So
hell yeah. Well, cool, man. Well, if you guys want to let us know what you thought, and we hope you do, send us an email. The email is singlepodcasttheory@gmail.com. We are on Instagram @singlepodcasttheory, Twitter @Pearl Jam Podcast, Facebook. Go say hey to Brad B over in Facebook land. We've also got YouTube. We're on Reddit. We're on the Pearl Jam 10 Club forum, on the porch. Yeah, hit us up, man. Send us your intros or whatever else. We're digging it. So we will be back with you guys next week for another wonderful episode of Single Podcast Theory. And I think that's it for me, man. You good?
I'm good.
It's always a pleasure to hear your voice in my headphones, Brad. Always.
I mean, I can record just nonstop all day and send you stuff.
Nope. I'm good.
Speaking of that Waze app, the GPS app, there's a function on there where you can go in and record your own commands, like turn left now, in 4 miles, turn right.
Like your own voice?
Yes.
Brad,
and
you are the king of the tangent. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Because I said I could record myself all day.
Oh.
And send you the files, the sound files. And that reminded me, I went on Amanda's phone and recorded myself yelling all the different GPS commands at her. So now when she's driving like to school and stuff,
it's your voice yelling at her?
It's my voice. Yeah.
Oh my
and
God.
I did some of them in my Australian accent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, turn left.
I'm sorry,
turn
what was
right.
That? Say left again?
Turn. Now I'm just going to laugh. Turn left.
Lift?
Yeah.
Okay.
Turn right.
Right. I don't think that's Australian at all.
Well, it's just my version.
Yeah, I get it.
And then there's like, I'm yelling at her to slow down because there's police ahead. I mean, I love it. It's so funny.
I just love you, Brad. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, thanks.
And that's a sincere I love you, but
thank you.
You are a special person, my friend. All right, well, let's wrap this shit up.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks again for listening, everybody, and we will be back with you next week for another episode of Single Podcast Theory. Until then, I'm Brad Lyons.
And I'm Brad Blazek, saying all that sacred comes from youth.
Hell yeah. Peace.
Yeah. Thanks.
I died and you just I died and you watched. I died and you walked by and said no. I'm dead.
That was hot. Fuck yeah. Woo! And the rest of you guys.
Starlin. Oh man, we're right in the middle of it.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. It's all right. Starlin. Come on. Come here. Here. Come in here. Nope. Never mind. Sorry, man.
Oh, you're good. Just make sure the dogs aren't dying.
No, they're fine. It's one of her friends came over, so they're just freaking out because that's what they do, you know.
Right on.
All right. We try and finish.
Yeah.
Hey, come here. Come on. Come on. Come in here. Come on. Come on. It's all right, man. Oh my God. I'm sorry, man.
Oh, I can't wait to use all that.
All right. So where were we? What do you want? Jesus Christ. Come here, Starling. Hey, Starling. Come here. Come on. Come on. Starling, come here. Come on. Go in there. Come on. Come on. You can do the show with me in here. There. Lay down. Oh my God. All right, you still there? Come here. Come on. See?
This is great
Say
radio
hi.
right here.
Yeah, I know. Here. Say hi.
Hi.
All right. Lay down. Go on. Lay down. All right. Where were we? How do
You
want me to
just
do this?
said hail, go or hail, hail, and just vent.
Yes. All right.